Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NIP Matchday magazine in what is a huge day here for the organization. NIP take on ANONYMO here at the FLASHPOINT 3 opening round, and it's been a couple of interesting weeks here for the organization. As you might have heard, Device joins NIP, the 4-time major winner Device, on a 3-year contract here, and we have a brilliant show here coming up for you guys. Interviews with not only the man himself, Device, but also with Threat. We also have guests coming up here. JAEGARN joins us here in Stockholm, Sweden, as we have a brilliant show coming up for you guys.
So bringing in Device, obviously he comes with the insane winner's mentality.
I've always wanted to be the best in the world.
Cracks into the A site and says this round is not done. In fact, he wants more. 2 heads visible. Playing evasive, they play in front of the smoke or have to respect it. Oh, isolates it all!
Nice.
It's an ace!
Achieving the ultimate goal, which is the major, and creating an era with NIP is actually my #1 dream. And then if I become best player in the world doing that, or if one of my teammates becomes best player in the world doing that, it will make me immensely happy, honestly.
Through ramp come the remaining 3 for NIP, and while they have dealt with the first, there are a lot more bodies left to quell. Plopsky doubling down, but from above they drop onto the last man, and it's Plopsky. Yeah, hell of a lot for Hampus to do, but there he is, good on the first. Still a threat, still a problem, and they can't deal with Hampus. He sends them all to the grave.
For our tournament, obviously the expectations will be high. A lot of the community will be watching our games for obvious reasons.
I expect that we will win against ANONYMO, even though they are a great team. They have a high skill ceiling and everything, but it's still a match we have to win, in my opinion.
We're gonna aim for top 4 every online tournament we play.
Well, there you have it, the legend Device talking about what it means playing for NIP in the upcoming game. And speaking of legends, we're joined here by NIP's assistant coach, I guess, is one of the many titles you have, my friend. JAEGARN, thank you so much for being here. How are we doing today?
Yeah, everything's just fine, you know. The weather is great outside, and it's just a perfect day to be inside and talk about the NIP.
I mean, like you said, the weather's good, but the matchup is even better, right?
Yeah, like the match is coming for both the main roster and the young ninjas. It's just off the charts right now. It's so much fun activities going on.
I mean, like you said, it's NIP versus ANONYMO, the Polish team. There's so much talk, obviously, about the NIP, about Device joining. Do you think there's a bit of maybe underestimating the Polish team ANONYMO here, or do you think this is NIP's game to lose, basically? This is in their hands. They have to win this.
Yeah, like it should be our game to lose, because like bringing in a superstar like Device is hypes out the team, and it has done a lot to the roster. You know, in engagement, people showing up earlier just to practice more, and like that's a big difference maker, bringing in someone that's like up there top 3 in the world in like individual skill and knows how to build like success. So I reckon we should win this game, but ANONYMO, you never know where you have them. They're pretty much up and down, and we faced them a couple of times with young ninjas, and they really performed well. So like looking at those type of teams, it's gonna be a brawl, but we should win fairly easy.
Okay, like we said, speaking of legends, they have the legend snacks there as well. Maybe some firepower coming in from there. But let's just dive straight into it. The talking point is Device, obviously, and what he brings to the team. Do you feel there's a scare about the expectations being too high on NIP? Because the second he joins NIP, there's talk about, the Stockholm major is ours, let's do it. Do you feel like people have to maybe chill with the expectations as they come into it? Because it's still like brand new team. Device has to settle in. The 4 other players have to settle in. Are you scared about the expectations being too high on not only Device, but the entire NIP?
Yeah, like there's different things to talk about. For example, we can talk about Eric, CTR coming in, being a really young player.
Yep.
And the core of the team is also fairly young. So, of course, like Nikolai coming in with so much experience is a key, is a difference maker, but the team is going to be needing some time to develop. Maybe we're going to have a phase where we perform really well now in the beginning. You usually have that with a honeymoon period, but we need to look at it long term. Right now, we're the best team in Sweden and want to keep it that way, but of course, we want to be one of the best, like within top 5 is obviously a goal for NIP, and hopefully we can deliver a major. But that's never something you can like ask for. You just need to work for it.
Yeah, because we see a lot of talk about what he brings to NIP, but also the expectations on him as well. He's been in Astralis for such a long time. 4-time major winner, top 3 HLTV, what is it, 3 or 4 years in a row? Yeah. It's obviously one of the best players, not only right now, but of all time. But joining a different team, that's a whole nother thing. The core from Astralis is not there. New teammates, younger teammates, like you mentioned, Eric there being a mentor to Eric as well, and the entire team really, as he brings that A game, the X factor to the actual team. What's the pressure on Device right now has to be so huge. Do you think that's maybe why he's one of the best players in the world, because he can handle that? Because every single viewer is the eyes are going to be on Device basically. Yeah,
because like when Astral has been winning majors, he's been performing well, and he's put up so much like unbelievable performance. Yeah, the numbers is insane, and you know, dealing with that and knowing that he's also going to be needing 4 players that perform well for him to perform. That's just the key, and I believe that. Like he had Sonic in Astralis, I know that Björn is one of the most rounded coaches in esport, and that's going to help him a lot. He's going to be more creative and feeling just that he can bring get new ideas into his game as well. So that's important that he comes to a structure where he's like, okay, this is about sport performance. I'm into training, I'm into sleeping and all that, and he still hopes that he can be or become the best in the world. He said it in the interview, and even if it's him or another player, that's just his mentality, and I think that's going to show off.
Being a part of NIP during an exciting time like this, what does this mean for not only the team, but the entire organization? Because he wanted to join NIP. It was his decision, basically, what it came down to. What does that mean for you as an organization? Because it sends a message not only to the entire CSGO world, but especially Swedish teams around this country, because that's a huge statement, having a top 3 guy in the team.
Yeah, like NIP, for example, the older roster won 87 in a row, and maybe we won't do that, but still we can bring those type of numbers. We can become the best team in the world, and we haven't been that for a couple of years. I think it's like 3 years ago since we won a big tournament. That's just something that you, as a fan as well, don't really hope for, or us as an organization, of course. So yeah, like the hopes and dreams for us is to create a new type of legacy with a new brand structure and all that, and new players coming in, and the youth development and so on. So I think we're just looking ahead for being a stable team long term, and with that we're building a younger team, a new era, and all that.
Speaking of looking ahead, obviously the thing everyone's talking about is the Stockholm Major.
Yeah.
You mentioned honeymoon period there for a while. Are you scared about expectations being too high now, or do you think there's an actual shot? I'm not going to get you to give predictions about an upcoming major, obviously, but I'm still going to ask: is there a shot? Obviously, being in Stockholm, he mentioned it in the interview. That's a dream. That Stockholm Major is something everyone looks forward to right now. What would be what kind of position in that major would make you happy?
Like, it can be 2 points. It can either be like a real dream come true. You know, you have the success story, you have the crowd, and you have the good vibes during the right type of tournaments and right type of preparations. And honestly, I believe that the team can win the major, but it has to be on the team's terms as well. It needs to be a long process building up to that major, and just feeling good about playing. You know, you need to feel the hunger. Otherwise it can be too much pressure, and you just feel like you're not in the right type of mood, and you're underperforming. So like we have had up and down in Sweden, for example, won a DreamHack Masters title with NIP, and a couple of years before that we lost in Stockholm in Globen in another DreamHack tournament. So like, you need to be prepared, and with a new lineup, with new experience and more hunger, I think we can achieve that. So at least top 3 is something we really hope for.
Exciting times for NIP right now, right?
Yeah.
Before we head into the next segment, my friends, obviously we're going to show you a couple of kills as we head into the top 5 frags from Pro League. Go ahead.
Oh! Rez will catch the next and follow up with even more. Nork fakes the bomb plant and nails the shot. It's another clutch attempt for Nork. This time a 1v2 and a chance at the 4K. This time he's got time on his side. This time it's Vitality feeling the pressure, and it's the collateral for Nork.
You'll never guess which side they're hitting. Straight in. Tech9's Kevlar Vest even trades. If Spinks doesn't find another, they've managed to get into the site. Orb in kitchen, they say. Plopsky forced out. He does get the frag, and that might be enough to deter them. Just going to be the M4 as he
looks like nothing.
Runs away into the Plopsky gigaze. Okay, 4 frags from Plopsky into that one. God, he's actually choosing to stick around. This is very brave from the young gun. And he's looking for a head. He actually finds more than he bargained for. 3 in quick succession. And the pistol's his. Colin, if anyone wants to give him a jewel, seems like Hampus landing good damage already. They're chipping away at them. And this is very, very threatening. Great angle found by Hampus, just on the elevated position of the barrels to find the head. And now 2 dead. Well, the flash might be enough. No, is the answer to that. And Rez does meet JKS's AK. Short-lived success, as that's the end of that too.
Hampus.
Well, there you have it, the top kills from ESL Pro League, where NIP managed to get a top 4 placement. Speaking of kills, let's see if this man can bring some kills for the team today versus Anonymo. We have him here ready to go as Device talks a bit about upcoming expectations, language barriers, and much, much more.
I think our first few weeks have been pretty good. There's definitely a learning curve for me as a non-Swedish player for forever, which I have to learn some things, and in general we're getting better and better, and I think of course there will always be some things that lacks, but we are working on all of those aspects, and yeah, I'm just enjoying it. Everyone is great here, and the team is great, and we're having a lot of fun as well, and I think that's really important. I actually didn't know players that well. I've spoken to Fredrik, and him and his girlfriend and my girlfriend have been out for dinner a few times before I joined, and I think that he was the guy I've met personally and spoken with. Other than that, I have not met the other guys. Only Plopsky at tournaments, spoken to him a little bit and met his dad as well, which is also a really nice guy. So it didn't play that big of a factor. What I was thinking most about was that NIP probably has a really good understanding on the social aspect, which is important when traveling, etc. But is more or less, do we have the talent to win a major and to develop into a major winning team? And that's what plays the biggest role in my decision making. I really love the guys there. We're having a lot of fun, and that's important, of course. And I think that getting to know everyone has been really fun for me. And interesting. I think definitely it wasn't exactly how I expected. Like, I think everyone is really funny. Yeah, I didn't really expect that I would slot that well into it socially in the beginning, since I'm not born Swede, but things are working out really well. Without praising everything too much, I really like the office, and I think that in general all of the facilities and the help we're getting as a team to become better is really good. There's a lot of investments going into the team, both in the long term and the short term. That's what I'm seeing, mostly from my point of view, and I think that is creating a safety net for us as players to be able to push outside of the comfort zone. And I would say that's what I'm noticing most about the organization is definitely that our safety net is really good, and people want us to become better and will do everything they can to help us. In general, the expectations for the tournament, I haven't necessarily said like we have to be number 3 or number 4 or something like that. I think it has to come down to the effort, commitment, and like the actions rather than the intentions. If we lose, did we do everything we fucking could to win the game? Like, then it's okay to be beaten sometimes, because we're also a new team. But if we felt like we didn't leave everything on the server, then I will personally be disappointed, and that's something I've always had in my DNA as a player is that as long as we get beaten by the better team on the day, then it's acceptable, and it's obviously a process, but I expect that we will win against ANONYMO, even though they are a great team. They have a high skill ceiling and everything, but it's still a match we have to win, in my opinion, and in general, just succeeding and having a lot of good games and learning from that is the most important in this tournament. And yeah, then obviously getting some points for the major, but there will be plenty of tournaments moving forward where you can also qualify. So this really has to be like we win or we learn. The most important thing about this whole project is the major in Stockholm, like looking at the mid to long term. There will definitely be other big tournaments, but right now we just have to qualify and we have to play in that arena. And everything we are doing right now is leading up to that. There are obviously other tournaments that are important as well, but for me, and I think also for the organization, to be able to perform in front of the Swedish crowd would be amazing.
We win or we learn. I mean, he just brings a different mentality to the team, doesn't he? And I guess that's what you need to be a top 3 player in the world.
Yeah, like he's unbelievable that way. He's a true sportsman, and it's just like a pure star quality to bring on. And I like to talk about like stars and legends like Michael Jordan and so on, but Device pretty much sums it up when it comes to esport. What he wants to achieve, his legacy.
I mean, he talks about expectations a lot, and I have to say I don't see the stress or the pressure getting to him at all. He looks happy, he looks content to be here, he looks excited for the future, and he talks about it. There's a different mentality here. Do you think he fits in? You know the guy's better than anyone, really. Do you think he fits into the current roster, the other 4 players in NIP?
Yeah, like being here 2 days ago, I just sat down with Björn and watched a couple of games when they were playing. They had a lot of fun, and that's important. And then the guys went to the gym and were training together. And you just love to see that as a coach as well. Like people just bringing everything they have fun together. And he coming into a Swedish roster from the Danish one.
Yeah.
And still already like almost speaking Swedish fluently.
Yeah.
So of course, some words he has to maybe think about, but just he wants it so much, and he's having so much fun with the process, and like he's talking about also like the people around NIP, like doing everything they can to like perform as well.
Yeah.
So it's all about performance here. Of course, we have a great atmosphere and great people like surround the players, and that's important for them to feel like they belong here. They're at home more than they're away, from home. So. That's important for us. Yeah,
and it looks very important to him as well. Obviously, being in Stockholm was a huge part of him joining. But like we said, he wants to be in an NIP. He wants to prove that it wasn't the Astralis core around him that made him one of the best in the world. He's one of the best players in the world, and he wants to bring that to NIP. He talks a lot about the pressure and expectations on the team, but like we said, they're not really afforded a honeymoon period. They have to deliver, and they have to deliver now. Do you feel like Device is a player who can cope with that? Because being a 4-time major winner, there's a lot of pressure coming into that.
Yeah, of course, I feel like he can, and it's also going to come down to the structure of the team. Like he used to play with a player like Dupree, like one of his best friends and forever teammate, and this is new for him coming into a new roster. Doesn't really know everything about all the players, but that's get interesting as well when it comes to like developing himself. Maybe he will find some type of new roles, some type of new ideas how to play. So maybe we'll see a new type of Device or the same one, but that doesn't really matter. He's still one of the best. So I believe he will, and I think he will strive on it because he wants to prove that doesn't matter what team he plays for, he will still be the best.
Speaking about roles and developing, we have a quick talk here with Threat as well, talking about the upcoming game versus ANONYMO.
So bringing in Device for our tournament, obviously the expectations will be high. A lot of the community will be watching our games for obvious reasons. Though our personal expectations are sort of the same as before. I mean, they will eventually become higher with Device because he is an excellent player. Though we are a new lineup, I think he knows Swedish, but the communication barrier was, I think, a bigger problem than we expected it to be. Though at this point, I think we kind of have worked it out. So, I mean, we're gonna aim for top 4 every online tournament we play. The pressure for the players when we brought in devices, obviously it increases, but I think it increases in a good way. He sort of puts the pressure on the other players to perform even better, to be more professional, and I think that will prove positive in the long run. I feel like we are quite prepared at this point. I think, as I said, the communication barrier was a bit bigger than we thought it was in the beginning, but at this point that's pretty much ironed out. So right now we're feeling really good on all the maps. Some halves is still a bit iffy, but that will always be the case. So going up in the first match versus ANONYMO is obviously we're favored to win. They are a very good team. They've been a bit inconsistent recently, but they've had their highest high has been really high. They've beaten some proper team. They have Snacks, a former top 5 player in the world. It's going to be a really tough match. We will respect them. We will prepare, but we will win.
That's a coach that looks happy with his current lineup, isn't it? You know him better than anyone. What has been his reaction to Device joining the team?
Amazing to get that type of player, and I know Bjorn from a lot of different tournaments and played together for 2 years, and he's always been like the smart ass. So he knows what he's doing, and he knows everything about development as well. So I think he will fit Device perfectly into the team, and his excitement will be high because Bjorn and Threat, he should win tournaments. He's just that good. So I really hope.
I mean, he says it top 4 every single online tournament. Do you think that's a good benchmark to start off with? I mean, obviously, like both Threat and Device says, the major in Stockholm is the dream. They have to qualify. Do you think that the expectations on qualifying is decent enough? Because you can feel he tries to bring it down just a notch to not make it so they're expected to win every single tournament, every single game, 16-0, because that's what people are expecting right now.
No, there's so many great teams right now. There's Gambit, Navi, and G2. And, there's so many great teams out there and rosters. So it's not easy to win tournaments as it maybe was before. If you did just work hard and constantly delivered, you won the biggest tournaments. But nowadays it's more, tactically driven. For example, like a team that Gambit right now maybe has the highest form. They're just boot camping like every day and talking about how much they want it, and that's just a passion for the sport. It can't go on forever, but we also we live in a reality where we have a different standard of CS, and it needs to be hard work every day to become the best. And NIP is constantly trying to deliver on that level, and we're slowly going up in the rank. So hopefully we can be a sustainable top 5 team shortly. But yeah, winning every tournament, that's probably not going to happen. But winning the big ones, that's the key.
That is the key. We're just a few moments away now from Device's debut here versus ANONYMO in the FLASHPOINT debut. But before we head into that one, we're going to have a bit of fun as well. It's not all seriousness. We want some fun and games here as well as we try to guess a couple of skin loadouts. And I just want your taste here, JAEGARN. I know you're not maybe the best, maybe not the most knowledgeable or interested when it comes to skins. I just want to know what you think about these loadouts.
That's fair.
Okay, so that is I know that is a howl, and the green knives are always very expensive.
Alright, so let's see what we got. We got the M4 Howl, the Emerald M9, and the Crimson Kimono gloves.
So I'm pretty sure this is Device. I've seen the knives and the gloves before, and I'm pretty sure he is one of the 2 people that have a howl, so I'm pretty sure this is Device.
Okay, I think it's Rez from my team.
Device?
I think like the print stream is pretty hard because everyone in our team got 1 print stream. So yeah, I don't know. The M4 Howl, I think it's only me, Rez, and Device.
I think he has that knife. I'm not sure. But I think he has a new knife, and I think it was green. So I'm gonna guess, I think he has a green knife.
Okay, M4 Howl, I know Nico and Rez has M4 Howl, so it's one of them, and then I know everyone has that eagle except me, so it could be anyone, and then the gloves is only 1 guy in our team who has the gloves, so I guess it could only be 1 guy.
The gloves is what I think gives it out, because I think it's Rez. because he's ever since when I joined the team 2 years ago, he had those gloves. He has played with them every day since then. So I would guess it's res on the skins.
I mean, Threat could not look any more lost during that one. He has no idea what's happening or what skins are. Like I said, I know you're not into skins, but okay, first of all, does the setup look good? Was it a good setup?
Amazing.
Okay, awesome.
I saw the knife yesterday, and I know Hampus just got it, so it can't be him. But I just talked about the knife, maybe the Hulk or something.
Okay,
if I have called it for a name, but probably not
it's
that.
It's a good name, right?
But yeah, if I was to guess, I would probably say res, since was it Plopsky talking about being in the same team for 2 years, seeing the gloves, you know. So yeah, that's my guess.
Res is a good answer actually, because it is Res with that skin and the insane knife, and Howl, that was recently sold in Denmark for what was it, $200,000?
Oh my god, that's
decent price. So JAEGARN's guess is Res. Let's find out.
And his name is Fredrik. Res.
And I know it because he's using all those skins, and I like it. I think Emerald with the crimson kimonos is looking nice. Prince Stream's looking nice. Howl's looking nice.
Every skin here is really good, but I don't think they really match together, like the green knife and the red gloves.
It's pretty good. It's the best M4. It's a very cool knife. I have the same right now actually. But I think the gloves, he could work on the gloves.
It could be a better color scheme, I believe, but still pretty good. Nice drip.
There's only one vanilla skin, and I prefer vanilla skins.
5 out of 10. 5 out of 5 for me.
Okay. I would rate it maybe 3.5 out of 5.
I would still rate it a 3 out of 5, just because it's really nice skins, but the combination could have been better, in my opinion.
3.5 out of 5 I would give him.
1 to 5, I would give it a 2, because there's only one vanilla skin, and I prefer vanilla skins.
He prefers vanilla skins. I love Threat. So, JAEGARN, before we head into it, we're about to start off NIPs. Is this a new era? Is this the new Swedish powerhouse team? Just give me a couple of predictions here. The first game with the device. What are we feeling right now?
Yeah, we're feeling confident. I know the boys want this, and it's of course going to be some pressure. It's going to be millions of viewers, and yeah, a new era, a new legacy. I'm just excited. I just think we're gonna smash Anonymo.
Here we go. The wait is over, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. NIP versus Anonymo. Here we go.
So bringing in the device, obviously he comes with the insane winner's mentality.
I've always wanted to be the best in the world.
Cracks into the A site and says this round is not done. In fact, he wants more. 2 heads visible. Playing evasive, they play in front of the smoke or have to respect it. Oh, isolates it all!
Nice.
It's an ace.
Nice. Sick.
Achieving the ultimate goal, which is the major, and creating an era with NIP is actually my #1 dream. And then if I become best player in the world doing that, or if one of my teammates becomes best player in the world doing that, it will make me immensely happy, honestly.
Through ramp come the remaining 3 for NIP, and while they have dealt with the first, there are a lot more bodies left to quell. Plopsky doubling down, but from above they drop onto the last man, and it's Plopsky. Yeah, hell of a lot for Hampus to do, but there he is, good on the first. Still a threat, still a problem, and they can't deal with Hampus. He sends them all to the grave.
For our tournament, obviously the expectations will be high. A lot of the community will be watching our games for obvious reasons.
I expect that we will win against Anonymo, even though they are a great team. They have a high skill ceiling and everything, but it's still a match we have to win, in my opinion.
We're gonna aim for top 4 every online tournament we play.